Hello and welcome. Hey, it's David, Philippine-American couple, and this is our good friend Javon today. Here in the house, we're in the kitchen eating Lorelei's cooking, who happens to be over there cooking and slaving away, which we're much appreciative of. Remember to like, subscribe, share, hit that alert bell, and join us and become part of our community. We are now going to discuss the K-1 visa process. If you don't know, a K-1 visa process is what?
Fiancée visa.
The fiancé visa. And you have one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely.
give us a little bit of your background. How did you get started? Why do you need a K-1 visa?
So it started when my sister.
You're not marrying your sister. That's Arkansas.
No.
Okay, all right. That's only people in
It happened
Arkansas.
when he was single.
That's only people in Arkansas who marry their sisters. Just want to clarify that.
Oh my god. So
Or
it
West
happens
Virginia.
when I was still single, and then my sister told me, "Hey, I have a friend or a coworker that's like your age," and I was like, "Would you like to meet her?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then that I remember that time. That was around 2017 December.
Wow.
I look at her Facebook. I'm not good though. I just look at her Facebook and I was like, oh, it's good. So I add her as a friend, and then of course she accepted it. And then after that we were like probably after a month, because I was kind of like really shy. I'm a type of guy that's like really shy and quiet. So after
Like me.
after a month, I encouraged myself to message her because to get to know each other. And then I kind of like what we have a conversation or something, to the point that I like this girl. So I started courting her.
It's not creepy, man. That's how Lorelei and I did it. We met on
Facebook.
Facebook, and then it just went from there. So it's not creepy, to stalk somebody on Facebook. It's
Something like
not
that.
creepy at all.
Then I actually courted her like almost a year. We were a good friend and talking to each other like every day.
But Yuban doesn't know how to ask.
Then on Valentine's Day, I sent her flowers, of course, and then my intention to
You never sent a friend flowers, did you?
pursue the upgrade to being in a relationship or something. And then she told me that if you're gonna come here, visit me first, and then we'll decide.
That's smart.
If I will gonna be your boyfriend,
Yeah.
something like that. So
Well, that's actually really smart, because there's two folds to this. One, it's just smart to know the person you might want to actually be with.
yeah, definitely.
But two, under the rules of the K-1 visa, you have to see the person in person anyway.
And she's
It just doesn't have to be in their home country. It could be on a cruise ship. It could be in a foreign country or it doesn't matter. But you have to see them in person before you can apply for a K-1 anyway. But I think that's really smart of her to go, now wait a minute. I appreciate the fact that you like me, but why don't you drag your ass over here and let me see if I like you? That's probably what she's really doing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So around November that time, I decided. Actually, 3 months before November, I already booked a ticket going to Dubai to meet her.
Because she's actually Filipino, but she's an OFW in Dubai.
Yeah, she's
She's
working
a
as a nurse.
Yeah, in Dubai. So you didn't have to go back home.
Yes.
See, you could go to Dubai and visit her, right?
But that time I wasn't yet a U.S. citizen. I'm still working on my papers. I think I was 3 years that time here in U.S. and I went through getting the visa, and then also paperwork.
So you went through the process of getting a a visa as a Philippine citizen
Yes.
to get into Dubai so that
Exactly.
you could visit her, not as a
Permanent
permanent resident
resident.
of the U.S., right?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if you're a permanent resident here.
Okay.
As it matters if what passport do you have.
Okay, because the permanent residents do not have American passports.
Yeah.
Only U.S. citizens have U.S. passports. So
Sure.
you would have to use your Philippine passport,
To
therefore
get a visa.
go through the visa process from the passport holder's country.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then around like November 11, she told me that like like we're in a relationship already. I was like really happy that time.
She said, I accept your offer.
Yeah. So I went there in January, and then finally.
So January was your second trip.
I know first.
Oh, first trip.
Yeah,
Okay.
first trip.
That's your first girlfriend.
Yeah. You're just kidding. So.
First girlfriend outside the country.
Always trying to cause trouble. That's all she does is trying to cause trouble. I swear.
So.
Okay.
Yes.
She's pretty.
So you went to Dubai,
Yeah, I went to Dubai. I stayed there for almost a month.
and how was Dubai?
Pretty good. I like it. It's really safe. Actually, it's really safe there. And then also, there's a lot of people told me like when I go to Dubai, it's really expensive, but it's really not if you just plan your trip. But yeah, it's Dubai is really good, and there's a lot of Filipinos also, so you don't get bored
Right.
in Dubai.
So you would have had if you didn't like her when you got there, you could have dumped her and found another one. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know about that.
I'm just asking.
Well,
Asking. You know.
probably not. But I mean, it turns out well. So we dated like a couple of every day, just to
Yeah, you went there how many
to know
times?
each other. I went there like 3 times.
Before you started the K1 visa process.
Yes.
Okay.
So
And so
Yeah,
after
take your
you-
time.
after your third trip over, you decided, okay, or did you do the proposal on your third trip?
well, actually, my second trip was around.
Oh, yeah, because you just went back there.
No, actually that was my second trip that I proposed,
Okay.
and then I just went there my third trip last year, just to polish all the documents, and then also just to celebrate our anniversary, 5th year anniversary.
Okay, so let me ask this question. When you went on the second trip, did you think you were going to propose?
Yes.
Okay, and why I ask this
You
is,
got the ring, right?
is
Oh yes. Of
not
course.
about a ring, Lorelai. It's not always about the jewelry. Why I ask this is because if you think you're going to propose to your fiance in another country and you're going to go there, then you want to do certain things to make sure that you make it easier. Take a lot of photos, get any and all documentation that you need so you have evidence for your K1 visa process case. So you definitely don't want to go there and not take any pictures, not meet their family, not do all of these things, then come back and try to apply for the K1 visa because you just wasted a trip. Because when your application to the K1, you have to prove
Yes,
that you met each other.
definitely.
So is that kind of what you did?
Yeah, because I was supposed to file fiancé visa during pandemic, but it was past 2 years already since we met. So the requirement of the K1 visa, you should meet your fiancé or girlfriend
Within 6 months.
within the 2 year span.
24 months.
Yes.
So you have 24 months to file, or you kind of got to go back and visit her again.
Visit her again. True.
Yeah.
Or else, if you file like past two years without seeing her, 90% probably 100% you're gonna be rejected on the USCIS because
Right.
there's no proof of like seeing each other for 2 years.
Right.
So that's why I decided to like go there again because we're lapsed 2 years and 3 months. So that's why
But you'd already filed the paperwork.
not yet that time. I just proposed, and then after proposal, as soon as I got back here in US, I filed it immediately
Okay.
because it has I have a proof already that we just recently met on the 2 years span.
Right.
Yeah.
So you applied for your K-1 visa before the pandemic hit. Correct?
After pandemic.
Oh, after the pandemic.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we haven't.
And so
seen-
that's where your 2-year gap that you were worried
Yes.
about was you didn't apply and you went and then you came home and you had a 2-year gap, right?
Yes.
So you were worried about that. That's why you made the third trip.
The third trip was I already applied for it.
Okay.
Like it was already
You
1
said that you did
year
it March.
and
This March. Okay.
1 year and 3 months already, or yeah, 1 year and 3 months already passed.
When did you file the visa? What month?
Well, I filed my K1 visa for my fiancée around July 15, 2021.
Okay.
Then you back lately.
Yeah, last year. So my third trip was last year, which is 2022, and it was already 1 year and 3 months on the process.
Right.
Yeah, because of the pandemic.
And that's been part of the problem is with the pandemic hitting, it slowed everything down. And usually the K-1 takes about 6 months.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought it was 6 months, but it took us like 1 year and something.
And now
Yeah,
he has
one
an
year.
interview on when.
So, and that's where we're at now. So the K-1's been approved.
Yes.
Right?
It was approved September 2022.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
after
September of last year. This is spring of 2023. So do you have interviews set up yet?
Yes, she's about to be interviewed around April. Because apparently in Dubai or in United Arab Emirates right now, it's really hard to get an interview because it's fully booked always.
Okay.
You need to if you guys are in United Arab Emirates, like working there, and then you have fiancé K1 visa also. That's you will gonna encounter like having to schedule your interview in a long span of time.
So when was the last time that you submitted? Has the government asked you for any additional information lately or anything?
Yes. After after we booked our interview, they sent me a letter requesting my financial evidence to support my fiance, which I already sent like a month ago.
Okay. And what they're asking is when you apply for the K-1 visa, you have to do your affidavit of support.
Yes, affidavit.
And so, but since it's been a while, if it's only the 6, we didn't have to do that, or did we, Laura? I don't know if we had to submit ours twice or not. If not, it's the same thing in 6 months. But yours being a while, what they want to do is basically verify that the accurate is still correct and that the fiance can still support the new bride coming over or new husband, whatever, coming over, is why they want to reconfirm that. The other thing they kind of do is want to give you the last chance to go, I think I changed my mind. I'm not going to, because if you don't submit that, they don't get to come over.
Yes, definitely. They'll automatically reject it because it's the US embassy will think, you can't support
They're
this.
not in relationship
Correct.
no more.
Something like this.
That's correct. So you've resubmitted your affidavit of support. She has an immigration interview from the United States government. She's located in Dubai, so they're going to do her interview in Dubai, even though she's a Philippine citizen, but she's working in Dubai. Now, one question I have, could she go back to the Philippines and have the interview, or does she have to stay in Dubai since that's where she was when you filled out the paperwork for the K-1?
She needs to stay in Dubai, unless, because if we're gonna try to change the location of the interview, it will probably take us another 6 months, I guess, or so, because what we're gonna do is call the USCIS or
The immigration department.
The immigration,
and
yeah.
you're going to reschedule it, and they're going to go, okay, that's great. You can reschedule it, Oh, you want to do it in the Philippines? Okay, well, let us put you on the list. At the back of the list, once again, because you're
Yes.
going to go all the way to the back of the interview list. So one thing that I've told people over the years is when you start this process, you don't give up. You don't change things. You just keep plowing forward and make it happen. A lot of guys I've talked to said, "Hey, this is taking too long. I want to go get married. I'm going to go over there and get married." Well, then your wife, then she can't come over on a K-1 because it's no longer a spousal visa. You have to turn around and apply for a spousal visa, which could take even twice as long to get your wife in America as it traditionally takes to get a fiancé here.
Yes.
So don't rock the boat.
You cannot overlap the case because you already have a case. It will prompt.
That's right. You can't have two cases going around going, hey, whichever gets here first.
No, it's
No.
not.
Plus-
One's going to cancel the other.
Yeah, plus if you're filing on spousal, it's automatically eliminating your K1 visa because
Yes.
it's marriage already.
Yeah,
You're
because you
married
can't you can't have a fiance if you're married.
already. Exactly.
There's this kind of weird thing about, look, you're married and you want a wife? So just isn't going to logically work. So that's exciting news. She's getting her interview. So in a couple months?
Yeah, couple months.
Couple months. So after her interview, what's going to happen next?
Well, of course, we'll get married as soon as possible when she came over here.
90
Come-
days.
come-
Okay, so let's talk about that though. So she's going to do her interview literally right after she gets done with her interview in Dubai. What happens?
Oh, after that, because she's employed in Dubai as a nurse, so their policy is like you need to resign 2 months ahead of time so that they can
2-month notice.
yeah 2 months notice.
That's how we call it.
Yeah, something like that. And then after that, she'll gonna wait for the passport and for her passport with the visa. And then we're planning to go back to the Philippines, and then from Philippines, we will
Fly together.
fly together going here in US.
Right.
As his first arrival US.
So she's going to do her interview, get that done. In her job, she has to give a notice. So you could either hedge your bet and say, well, my interview is February the 14th, so I'm going to quit December the 14th and hope that it all works out. But the logical thing to do is give you 2 weeks notice once you know your interview's in place and it happens. Now, for instance, when Lorelai being in the Philippines, when it happened for us, as soon as she got her interview and it got approved, she was able to come here in about 2 days.
Yeah, don't buy a ticket if you don't have a visa.
It was a, she's saying the ticket was outlandish, and it was. But they're going to go back to the Philippines because she's from the Philippines, he's from the Philippines. They're going to celebrate with family and friends and enjoy the Philippines a little bit because the K-1 visa, which I think we mentioned, you can only enter the United States once on a K-1 visa. So they can't come here and then go back and come back here to the United States.
What is the
So if they want to enjoy family in the Philippines, right?
Yes, of course.
You got to go before she comes into the country.
Sure.
And because you have a time window on how long that K-1 visa is good for. And I'll double check my research, but I think it's 1 year, right?
I think it's 6 months.
6 months for the
6
K-1
months.
is valid for.
Valid.
So you have a 6-month window that you can bring her over into the country.
But it's 90 days fiancé.
Or actually, I'm not really sure. It's either 90 days
90
to
days will expire.
to 6 months, something
Yeah.
like that.
90 days,
You
no.
get married.
90 days is what you have once she lands in the United States. She has a 6-month window to get to the United States.
Oh yeah.
You see what I mean by
Yeah.
that? So your visa is only going to be good for 6 months, and I'll double check this, whether it's 6 months or a year, that you can actually get into the country one time on a K-1 visa.
Yeah.
But once you're here, you have 90 days to do the marriage thing, file for the adjustment of status, showing that you guys got
Before 2
married,
years anniversary.
and then you can work on your green card process. And obviously, when you do that, if you don't know this much, she can apply to become a U.S. citizen after 3 years if she's married to a U.S. citizen, which he is now, as Lorelai did. So her citizenship was done in 3 years,
Yeah.
not 5, not the standard 5. So overall, ballpark, what do you think the fees and the that type of cost has been for you for the K1?
For the K1, I mean, the process itself for the paperworks probably cost me around
10.
like 1,500. 1,500.
What?
For the fees only.
For the
But
fees.
like, you know, traveling and all that,
Yeah.
it takes me like more than 20,000 probably.
I know.
I can relate.
20 grand to marriage.
I can relate, trust me.
Something like that. But
Yeah, the
yeah.
fees are roughly under $1,500 for the K1 visa process.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't
Total.
include her airfill, hair, or
No, definitely
you know.
not.
Now Lorelai had to do a medical exam in the Philippines. Did she have to do a medical exam in Dubai?
Yes.
Okay.
You're doing that before the interview date.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 2 weeks before interview date.
Within 2 weeks.
Yeah, within 2 weeks.
Because what they do with the medical is this: they do the medical before the interview, because if she's medically disqualified, then the interview is no good. They're going to tell her, "Sorry, ma'am," or they're going to go, "You know, you're pregnant. Does your husband, who's not been here, or your fiance who lives in
Yeah.
America, who hasn't seen you in 18 months, know that you're pregnant?"
Yeah, or they can
So,
do what
and-
they latest.
And all of that mess is going to happen where they disclose that back to the United States, to the fiance, the applicant of the K1 visa process. So that's part of what they do. They do pregnancy tests. They do communicable diseases. Also through that, they're going to check for, you know, syphilis, gonorrhea, whatever that they do. TB,
whole
of course, the whole 9 yards. Just so that everybody's on the same playing
Yeah, they
field.
go naked.
And we know of folks that have been told, "Hey, did you know that your fiance is pregnant?"
And
And
if
we
you know your friends in America is a pedophile or
and we've known the other times at the interview process where
what kind of a
the
case?
interviewer told the young lady, "Did you know your husband has 4 felonies?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or domestic violence.
Did you
or
know
whatever.
this? Did you know that?" And it's been a shocker.
The same thing.
So that's part of why they do this comprehensive interview and process. It takes a while, but he does get it done. So about $1,500 in legal fees, let's say that. Another $20,000, you know. But he doesn't have a clue how much it's really going to cost, when,
Yeah.
you know, after she's here. You know, new house, cars, new curtains,
Then before
Furnishing the house. I guess.
The
Dogs.
expenses, she cannot work until the green card will arrive.
lumpia,
My God.
you know, yes. So,
You
and we'll
need to
talk about,
prepare the
okay.
post. So they need to prepare the post before, because they can't.
You need to be
work.
rich.
They can, the female can't work
Yeah.
need to be
until the
rich.
green card. So you
You
need
just
to
need to
wait.
be rich. But you're right. But Lorelai's right. The fact is, your fiance cannot work when she gets here. Your
Few
wife
months.
cannot work immediately until she gets her green card established. And that could take 90 to 6 months, 90 days to 6 months before she gets a green card. Then she can go get a job and
Yes.
work.
And
Now,
bills.
in that meantime, once you get your adjustment of status, have her go down and get a Social Security card. Anybody in the United States can get a Social Security card, whether you're legal or illegal. And then after you become a permanent, or you get your affidavit, support, not your affidavit of support, but your adjustment of status, she can go down and start working on a driver's license. Because that shows that she's married and now she's legal to have a driver's license in the United States. Those are documents you can do so before she gets her green card or permanent residency card here. And then she can go to work. So what you,
Yes, that's what I'm planning to intend to do.
and then you got to buy her a car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a must here to have a car.
Telling you guys, yeah, you may want to rethink this. So that's kind of the K1 visa in a nutshell. Somebody who's actually going through it right now, this day, through the pandemic, through all the government BS, what he's going through. So let's wrap this up with any advice you would give anybody?
Any advice? Patience.
Just get a
You have a lot of need to have a lot of patience and
Money.
of course money, because if you don't have money, I mean, it's gonna be rough. So yeah, that's all my advice.
Well, I agree. Extreme patience and money are the two huge factors. If you truly can't afford to do this, it's going to be a mess.
Oh,
It really is.
definitely.
And if you don't have and I want to say this on top of this, as an American guy who's married a foreign woman, you have to have a great amount of patience to deal with them, just like they have to deal with you, with the mixing of cultures. You guys are both raised in the Philippines, so their culture is very, it's the same. But when you have two cultures coming together, you have to have a lot of patience and understanding. Especially, luckily for them, they get us. So we have great amounts of patience. So, all right, guys, we appreciate you. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave it below. And we will make sure and answer your questions the best we can. But we appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. And everybody say goodbye to Jovan.
See you guys.
Take care, guys.
Good luck.